also ask the candidates please to join me on stage. We're starting from my right in alphabetical order, please, and there are mics on your chairs, and the tech will help you put them on. So attendees, please find a seat.
Good afternoon. It's with a great sense of privilege that I have the honor of welcoming all of you here today, as well as welcoming the various community leaders who are present and our esteemed candidates for the upcoming mayoral election. My name is Khalid Latif. I work as the executive director at the Islamic Center of New York University. I'm also one of the university's chaplains, and I'm a chaplain for the New York City Police Department. Our community here at NYU has grown substantially over the last few years, and as we've grown in numbers, so too we've grown in a recognition of the importance of being civically engaged. This forum is something that is quite historic in that we are bringing together diverse individuals to come and speak and engage these people who will be running for candidacy of our city's mayor on issues that are very relevant to us. And as important as it is for us to be here present today, I want to reiterate to all of you that beyond today, it's going to be that much more important to continue to be present. That we need this to be the first of many discussions, and we need for our collective voices and concerns to continue to be heard so that we as a community are not necessarily just being discussed, but we are part of the discussion. And so I hope that beyond today, you all will join me in making a commitment to continue to be a part of the process. As we've always encouraged all of you, definitely I expect each and every one of you to go out and vote, not just in this election, but every election that we're going to be privileged to be voting, because our vote is part of our voice. And that we continue to attend and be a part of the process as best as we can, so that we can start to see a systematic change that we're all hoping for. So again, thank you to the candidates for being present for the forum today. And thank you to you all for attending. And with that, I'd like to invite to the stage my good friend and colleague, Linda Sarsour, who is the director of the Arab American Association of New York.
Good afternoon, New York City. Good afternoon, New York City. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but okay. I know it's a beautiful day outside, and I know that we could all be hanging out in Washington Square Park, but you chose today to come here and listen to the candidates who are all vying for votes from communities across New York City, including ours. Most recently, the New York Times wrote an article called The Guide to the Candidates, to the Mayoral candidates. And in that article, they mentioned the Muslim community, and what they said about us was that we were a long neglected community. And that's a really important point. Usually you would think that's something negative. I actually saw the positive in that. What that told me was that the Muslim American community, the Arab community, and the South Asian community are a political force that haven't been reckoned with, but need to be reckoned with. And if anyone is to win a mayoral election, it has to be with the support of our community. And today, just looking at the stage, you know that these candidates came because there's a testament to the political power of our community. And our community is not a new community. We didn't just show up on September 11, 2001. We've been in New York City for decades. And the African American Muslim community has been longtime political activists in our community. And we as children of immigrants and the immigrant Muslim community are very happy to start on our journey to be politically active in New York City. One thing I want to tell you guys is, based on a Muslim surname list that we ran through the voter database system, there are 105,000 registered Muslim voters. 105,000 registered Muslim voters. Think about it. Imagine if we all went out to the polls on election day, what kind of impact we can have on an election. And our issues, we don't have Arab and Muslim and South Asian issues. The issues we have are issues that other communities care about. And we thought it was important that our community get face time with the candidates. And for me personally, I want to say that I'm honored and I'm privileged. And I thank each and every single one of you that came here today, because for our community, it's a sign of respect. The message that it sends to me is that you care about this community and that you accepted an invitation. If anyone knows our community, that's a big deal to us. If I invite you to my house, you have to accept my invitation. So without further ado, I want to say thank you to all of you who came here today. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to remember what you heard today. And I want you to pick the candidate that spoke to you, the candidate that spoke to your issues, and the candidate that's right for New York. So for those of you in the audience who are tweeting, our hashtag today is Right for NY, because we want to make sure that those who couldn't be here today can follow along. Without further ado, I want to introduce the moderator of this event today. And for me and for my colleagues who made this event happen, and I want to call them out because you wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my colleagues Faiza Ali and Alia Latif, and my colleague Khaled Latif from NYU. And that's also the testament to the young generation of our community who is politically inclined and politically engaged. And when we thought about this forum, we said, who's going to moderate our forum? Right away, the top of the list by all of us was Errol Lewis from New York One's Road to City Hall. We like his style, we like his swag, we like his everything. And that's why he is our man of the night, and he will be moderating and introducing the candidates. So without further ado, please show some love to Errol Lewis from New York One's Road to City Hall.
Thank you, Linda. That was a wonderful introduction. Linda, in her shy, retiring, gentle way, invited me to come here today, and I had no choice but to say yes. I do want to thank everybody for coming out. This is an important forum. I thought I had done a lot of these. This is the 7th mayoral forum that I had moderated, which I thought was a lot until Bill Thompson mentioned to me that he's done about 40 so far. So we've got a great hour or so, and I'm going to ask both the candidates and the audience to please help me move this along, because the candidates have other commitments, you all have other commitments, we have a lot of ground to cover, and so when I ask for 1-minute responses, these professionals I know will honor that request and give you sort of a hint of their thinking without going into too much detail on every question. We do want responses that are meaningful, but they are going to, at least this afternoon, have to be brief. Just to pick up a little bit on what Linda said, the estimated population of the Muslim community in New York City is somewhere between 800,000 and 1 million. The voter data that she mentioned, about 105 registered Muslim voters in New York City, and just off the top of my head, I think that exceeds the margin of the mayoral contests in 1989 and 1993, in 2001 and 2009. So it's meaningful. I guess one last fact, and this is for some of my colleagues in the media who are here. According to the U.S. Mosque Survey from 2011, New York and California have the largest number of mosques, 257 here in New York, which is the largest number, and 246 in California. And that is believed to be associated with high levels of civic engagement. Okay, let me invite the candidates to give us a 1-minute opening statement, and we'll go right down the row. We'll start with Sal Albanese, whose name starts with A and who indeed was here first.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here.
Am I going?
No, on the side. Make sure the green is showing.
Yes.
No, you do have to turn on the side. Yeah, make sure the green is showing.
Check. Testing. 1, 2, 3. You're not. Towards my minute, does it?
Use up your time well, Sal.
You're done now, Sal.
Thank you, Sal. Hey, Sal, try and speak directly. Try that.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Try that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit higher.
All right. Can you hear me now? Well, let me congratulate all of you for being here today and the host. This is a great turnout. My name is Sal Albanese. I'm the only person in this race who has a record of independence, is not a career politician, is not accepting contributions from developers, lobbyists, and I'm committed to putting the people in charge of City Hall. Let me give you a little bit about my background. I came here as an immigrant at the age of 8, grew up in a working class neighborhood in Brooklyn, where my mother raises an abundant worker's salary. The public schools, the libraries, the sports programs, all services the city offered helped to elevate my family from the working class to the middle class. I'm running for mayor to provide the same opportunity to future generations of New Yorkers. I'm concerned the political class is letting them slip away. I was a public school teacher for 11 years. I understand education from the ground up. We all agree that we need universal pre-K, to stop teaching to the test, and we have to stop closing so many of our schools. The difference is I have a plan which addresses the root cause of our failing schools, which is poverty, and I want to establish pediatric wellness centers in low-income communities in the city. As a city council member, I passed the city's first living wage law, which impacted 70,000 workers, put $3 billion in their pockets. We paid many of those workers $12 an hour. That was in 1996. Here we are in 2013 debating a $9 an hour minimum wage. And I think it's tragic. I want to be a different kind of mayor. I want to be able to make decisions on the merits. I want to tell the truth when it's politically risky. I want to give regular people a voice in City Hall. And I look forward to your votes and your support so we can build a better New York.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adolfo Carrion, and I want to be your mayor. Let me begin by thanking Linda Sarsour, the tweet monster. She's awesome. She's out there. She's out there tweeting. And thank AAA and NYU and the program here for organizing this. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you. New York City is not the city that I grew up in. I grew up in a city where we were the minority, the people in this room, and my community and the black community together, the so-called minority communities were still in the minority. That is no longer the case. We are now the new New York. We are the new majority. The unfortunate thing is that New York City is underperforming for our communities when it comes to educational outcomes, when it comes to the production of affordable housing for poor and working class families, and an important segment of our community is an emerging middle class that does not have the option to stay here in New York City. We're underperforming for them and for their children. We need to ensure that we prepare these kids that are in our public schools for a modern economy. We have IT companies importing talent from all over the globe when the kids are right here begging for an opportunity to enter our economy and prosper in the greatest city in the world. And so I want to be the mayor of New York City to ensure that this new emerging majority owns the franchise and owns its future and gives its children a better New York. Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm Bill de Blasio, your public advocate. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, Imam Latif. Thank you to someone who makes Brooklyn proud every day, Linda Sarsour. She is all Brooklyn all the time. I think we need a different approach in our city for a lot of communities, but certainly when it comes to the Muslim community, Arab American community, South Asian communities, I think we need a city government that reaches out and includes. That means things like establishing the Muslim school holiday, which is a show of respect. It's a show of respect for the community. It's a show of equality, but also says to our young people how much we value them and their futures. I think it means a different relationship on the ground in each community between all city agencies and the community, especially the NYPD. And I think it means things like establishing the recreation programs and the kind of efforts that will help young people to have more opportunity. I think investing in our young people is, to me, the central issue of this campaign in so many ways. That's why I've called for a tax on the wealthiest New Yorkers so we can have full-day universal pre-K and after-school programs for every middle school child who needs it. And I know so many Muslim students in the city would benefit from those initiatives. If we're going to make sure there's unity in our city, if we're going to make sure there's a sense of equal opportunity, not some of the sense of hopelessness that's pervaded so many communities, but really equal opportunity, we're going to have to make a series of very substantial changes. We're also going to have to change the way we police. We're going to have to focus on making the police-community relationship more positive. That means things like establishing the Inspector General. That means passing the racial profiling bill, doing the things that bring police and communities back together. And that is the sustainable path for the future of our city to have that kind of unity again. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you, and what a wonderful, wonderful turnout. On this beautiful Sunday, there are so many other things you could do, but the fact that you're all here, I think it just speaks volumes to the development and the commitment of the community. For the success of New York City, this is a city where if you used to work hard, you dream big, and then you work even harder, you can achieve great success. And in fact, that's the reason my family and I, we came here, we immigrated here when I was a kid. And I went on to public schools, kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, went to college. It had nothing to do with politics. I'm not trying to be stereotypical here, but I was a mathematical physics major. I spent most of my career having nothing to do with politics. I was an actuary for 14 years before I decided I wanted to give something back to the city that gave me and my family tremendous opportunities to pursue and achieve the American dream. But in recent years, I think we've gone a little bit out of whack. This city is now all about billionaires, about big companies, about corporatization. Everything's become corporate. Everything from, you look at our business strips, mom and pop shops are closing down in favor of chain stores and bank branches. Nothing against them, but at some point we gotta try to figure out how we keep the mom and pop stores in business. Our schools are being run like business divisions reporting up to DOE Corporation. And it's not about teaching kids, it's about testing kids. It's this corporate model that has been applied to the schools that I think clearly needs to be fixed. It's also about a system where, there's a certain way of thinking in this city. And that kind of thinking has left too many people out in the dust. The way the NYPD